Welcome to the Spring 2021 edition of ILTA Business Partner Spotlight. My name is Beth Ann Stevie, and I'm the Director of Publications and Press, and I am thrilled today to be here with the Zer0 team. I'd love them to introduce themselves. Let's start off with you, Alex.
Thank you, Beth, for having us here. I'm Alex Babin, CEO and co-founder of Zer0, and we'll be talking about what Zer0 is doing, but I really wanted to highlight that I'm super happy to run the amazing team of professionals to make attorneys' lives better.
How about you, Natasha? Let's go next.
Hello, and thank you for having us here. My name is Natalia McCain. I am the account executive here at Zer0.
Thanks, Beth Ann. My name is Ryan Stedman, and happy to call myself colleagues of Alex, Natasha, and the entire team at Zer0.
Well, I'm glad to have you guys here. Let's start off a little bit for those of us who don't know a lot about Zer0. Alex, can you walk me through kind of the options for you guys? What are you all about?
Of course, Beth. So Zer0 has been started with a very clear mission of making legal professionals' lives better and easier, because we know that no attorney ever went to law school to file emails or capture time, that they went to law schools for different reasons, but not these ones. And we decided that we will help those professionals with new tools to automate stuff that everyone hates doing or don't like doing, but still have to do, those routine things that eats up a lot of our time that is very valuable. So that was our clear mission. And we started with email, and then we started working with our clients on adding new productivity features, new automation tools for attorneys. And that's how we now have a variety of products and the family, the platform basically that makes their life better, easier, and help them to spend time on billable stuff instead of managing the emails and their time. And it's specifically important right now in those times when automation and productivity automation in the first place becomes a very important theme, as we are separated from our colleagues. We have no back office the way it used to be. We have a lot of stuff for us as professionals to do on our own, and we need that support as people and as legal professionals in the first place. That's where the productivity automation comes in play and plays absolutely new role. And we want to bring in the best possible AI-powered tools to make people's life better.
I think you bring up a really good point. It's been a difficult and frankly challenging year. I think we're all, a little tired of not seeing our colleagues, and we're also really trying to figure out how to continue to cope. How do you all see the role of technology changing for legal practitioners, especially if this may be the very new normal?
It's a really good opportunity for the beginning of modernization of business processes, Beth Ann. The idea of replacing human processes with anything that has something to do with AI or machine learning is a massive emotional leap for any professional. And part of instilling or ingraining an element of trust in their behavior is to give them technology that is familiar to them, that creates better ways to complete particular tasks, that creates a sense of self-sufficiency now that they're all working in the absence of an army of colleagues, and that also gives them a little bit of time back in their day-to-day going about doing their professional chores. There's this weird kind of merging of professional and personal chores that are happening inside of our own home environments. And it's becoming more and more difficult to separate and delineate the distractions between constructing time cards or filing emails versus making a sandwich for the 7-year-old who's just hungry in the middle of the day. So how do we create boundaries with technology that can help professionals do the things that they're still expected to do without creating that overwhelming sense of working from home, and how do we turn off office time? How do we do that? So we leverage technology to do that. And there's just an enormous number of tasks that are perfectly ripe now to introduce productivity software. That's essentially what the technology is, or one of the foundations upon which our technology has been engineered. It's about introducing new, subtle, gentle streams of productivity workflows that users no longer need to spend several hours a week doing things for. You know, the idea about removing non-billable time out of the anatomy of a matter is really the direction that automation is going, and that's really where we found kind of a not uniquely, but certainly removing some of the time capture processes, the email management techniques that we haven't really had an opportunity to evolve for the last 2 decades. So it's within those kinds of areas of productivity that we're seeing significant gains in productivity from professionals.
How does the Zer0 solution overcome the implementation adoption obstacles in law firms?
The main thing when the new product is being introduced to legal professionals or law firm in general is not the product itself. It most likely the change management this product requires. And we have adopted the strategy of introducing minimum change required for people to start adopting the product. And it's on the many, it happens on many layers. It's product itself, onboarding, training. And if we start with the product itself, it mimics the way people already work. So in order to get ROI from the product, you don't have to change the processes you're already accustomed to. On the training level, we make it so unintrusive and so intuitive that people can get the ROI from the very beginning they start using the product, because it's all about what we can get as our clients can get out of it in a minimum required time. So we know that sometimes this product requires enormous amount of time to be implemented, to be users to be onboarded, and then the adoption to be catching up. So in our case, we try to minimize all those obstacles into absolute minimum so people can start getting ROI from the day one. Basically, that's of course the holy grail, but that's our goal. ROI on the first day.
Well, I think that brings us perfectly into use cases. So Natasha, what are some of the use cases that Zer0 addresses?
Well, thank you. Excellent question. I'd like to start with saying that many law firms are now rethinking the way they address wellness and culture. And I think that part of this effort should be giving their people the tools to succeed. We all have to do more with less. We all are juggling multiple things all at the same time. Just like we've mentioned earlier, kids, work, other things, and lawyers should have the ability to practice law and focus on delivering superior customer service. And those administrative things are often left behind, and people often have to go back in the evenings, on the weekends, and take away time from their families, from things that they would rather be doing, and to stay compliant, to stay on top of their time entry and doing the right things. They have to take time away from their families. So Zer0 and modern technology allows you to not have to do that. Imagine you had a legal assistant in your pocket. You could just tap one button, and things you do not want to do, but you have to do, just get done. And it allows you to be productive. Think of it as a productivity automation. You become productive without having to spend a lot of time doing things that you do not want to do.
That sounds like the holy grail.
Yes, you do not have to go back and reconstruct activities after the fact. You do not have to spend time filing emails. If you have delegated filing in your firm, and if you are one of the lucky ones to have that level of support, then you do not have to worry that your administrative legal assistant will file something somewhere where it doesn't belong, because those predictions are highly accurate. They're based on our behavior, and it removes that friction. And so the administrative assistants are more confident filing emails on the attorney's behalf, and the attorneys are more at peace with the choices the administrative assistants make. And so everybody's happy.
That actually, in many cases, changes the way people work, not just in terms of increasing productivity, but also making the cost centers to become revenue centers, to have much more important stuff being done, and administrative personnel who is being doing things that you cannot bill for, now doing billable work or helping overall productivity in the firm. So it's overall changes overall perception of how the technology brings value. It's changing from making the transition from the cost center to revenue center in many cases.
And also, I forgot to mention that according to Yale's research on behavioral economics, the single most accurate predictor of behavior is ease. People will do what's easy to do 100% of the time. And if it's important for you that your people stay compliant, that they file emails, that they are hygienic with their time entries, give them the tools to succeed.
That makes complete sense to me. I mean, it's kind of like making dinner. If it's easy, it's much more enjoyable. Can you guys tell me a little bit more about what's coming down the pipeline for you guys as we head into 2021?
It's always, interesting to know what legal technologists are doing, and it won't surprise anyone that roadmaps are often heavily influenced by client demands and client requirements. There's a recent report that Gartner produced in January of this year where they claim that more than 50% of legal tasks will be supported by some form of automation. So that'll give you a bit of a hint with regards to what we have up our sleeve. Before I, though, open up to Alex, there are a couple of things just philosophically that I think the industry is becoming a lot more aware about based on these incremental efficiency changes or these small incremental opportunities to modernize business processes. And it's called the blast radius. If I had an American accent, it would be called the blast radius. I do not, unfortunately. So the blast radius is simply this: go find some place where you can start small, in a place that nobody's looking. And at the risk of over-investing in something small like that, in that particular area, email management, research, time capture, whatever the case is, you're not breaking the bank. But if you create a result that's so profound that the blast radius of that success includes stakeholders to the left of you, to the right, to the north, to the south, in a way that they can see, wow, here's something that's delivering results that we can really care about, it starts becoming viral within the firm. And people can start really respecting humanized technology. Humanized technology in this instance is building technology and solutions that is respectful of human beings. And that's precisely what we're doing. We're trying to be respectful of humans in a way that is creating technology that doesn't cause distractions or any more layers upon layers of additional workflows or unnecessary waste in how they modernize those business processes.
It's also important to mention that, well, we all know that it's kind of out there publicly, and people think about this, and it's in the books, it's everywhere, that we are in the middle of next industrial revolution right now. Machines are being introduced, RPA process, robotic process automation, all sort of automation, trying to remove people from that game by replacing them with algorithms, with the bots. We are, on the other hand, trying to keep people in the game. We enhance people's abilities to do more with less. That's our biggest, that's the thing that keeps us up at night. We want people to be as productive as possible without taking away this creative thing that people are much better at, and leave the machines do the rest that people cannot do that the same effective way. In terms of the overall value for the firms and for the clients of ours, if you think small, and what Ryan said, small things that needs to be automated, not the big task, but those small things, they pile up in a huge time suck. And at the end, this is what actually makes us not productive. Those small things, but routine, repetitive processes that we have to go through. Imagine you can magically improve the productivity of your legal professionals in the firm 1% each. And if you have 1,000 people in your firm, you just magically improved the overall productivity by 1,000%. But imagine that a 10% improvement or 15% improvement. That's the next level of the game of productivity automation in play, and that's what we're working on.
I think that's a great place to leave us. I'm excited to see what you have come out next. I thank you for walking us through the start of the next industrial revolution. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.